I know one thing that scares you the most about doing your makeup is your eyebrow. But don't worry, I got you. This is the long-awaited brows tutorial. Guys, if you're anything like me, you know I love me a snatched long brows. I mean, on some days, I still do the curvy ones, but I just lean into this more often. As you can see, I started off with my black eye pencil. It's from Davies. It's very popular in Nigeria. If you don't know this eye pencil, I don't know what you're doing. Beforehand, you already saw that I used my powder puff and some powders to dry my eyebrow and set it in place before going in with the black eye pencil to draw the exact shape that I wanted. After which, you fill with a brown eye pencil. Guys, everything you're working with should be as sharp as possible. You can see how I bent it to give those light strokes. You can see it again. You use it by the sides and then you make very light strokes. Of course, you know that this is when you want to draw a dark brow, just like the one that I'm drawing. It just depends on what you want to go for. You can use brown eye pencil if you don't want something as dark as this. If you also want to do creative eyebrows, just like blonde, burgundy, green, blue, you name it. All you need is the technique. Now I'm carving out in my concealer. This may be an unpopular opinion, but you don't need to carve out the eyebrows, especially if you're going for an everyday look. Of course, the concealer will make it look more sharper, brighter, and even more professional, but it's not compulsory, especially for everyday look. I carve my brows anytime I want, and when I mean I carve my brows, I mean I draw my eye pencil. And I don't need to carve it, especially when I'm just going out with my lip combo, some blush, and my eyebrows. Why would I want to put concealer? So yeah, I'm being as real as possible. As long as you've learned how to draw your eyebrows, you don't need to conceal. But yeah, this is me shaping out the brows, guys. I cannot even overemphasize on how painful it can be when you just finish drawing your eyebrows very well and you're making mistakes carving it. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Yes. But at the end of the day, being a professional in makeup artistry does not mean you will not make mistakes. It just means you have better ways of handling them and making it right. Okay, yay, let's go. What do you guys want to talk about? I would love to know the challenges you face while doing your makeup. Ask your questions so that I can help in any way I can, because it's my pleasure to bring as much value as possible to you all. Guys, your blending game should be up the roof, because if you're gonna be using this technique of doing your makeup, that's your base first before drawing your eyebrows, then you know for sure that a lot of things can go wrong after you've already set with powder and now you're coming to put concealer, which is a liquid again. So this is what I was talking about when I said as a professional you can make mistakes, but of course you will be able to correct them more gracefully. Now you take your eyebrow tamer. Guys, this is my secret, but my eyebrow tamer finished and I packed my edge control inside the container because it's the same thing. Even though it's not the same formula and everything, it's still doing the same job. So bye. Personally, I don't like my spoolie being crusty, so I put some in my hand, apply them on my brows gently, and then use my spoolie to brush my brows. You see the magic I did right there? So you use the back of your triangular puff to press it down. Make sure there's no powder on it so that it just stays. Here, I was still correcting. That's my little itch. I want everything to look as best as possible. Although I'm not a perfectionist, I am being better and learning to do better. But yeah, I'm perfecting the brows the best way possible. Does not mean they have to be twins. They just need to look as similar as possible. Okay, let's list the things we used. A black eye pencil, a brown eye pencil, your concealer, both a lighter shade and a darker shade for under the brows and above the brows respectively. You need a flat round brush. You can use an angled brush as well, but I just find the flat round brush easier to use. And you can use it for multiple things like cutting your crease and even lining your lips. You also need a fuller brush to blend, your spoolie, and your eyebrow tamer. As you can see, I used edge control. Don't mind the container. So you can use an edge control as well. You don't need to break the bank for this. I hope that this video helps my girlies to slay so much. Remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up and practice. Anyways, ciao ciao guys. Mwah.